All right, picking up on page 216, building and saving a custom amp model. It wasn't that long ago that the only way to make your guitar sound like it was playing through a famous amplifier was to use the famous amplifiers. I know because I played keyboards in many bands and rehearsed and recorded music in actual garages. I didn't, but this writer of this book did. So the idea that the GarageBand amp models can emulate well-known amplifier sounds is truly amazing. Now that is true. It is truly amazing. The processed sound of a particular electric guitar and amp model or amp combo adds character and personality to a song and can be almost as important as the performance itself. Since the introduction of the electric guitar in 1931, popular bands from all genres and generations have developed their signature sounds around their electric guitars in addition to their lead vocals. If the preset amp models let you sound like famous guitar players from your favorite bands, why would you want to change anything? Sometimes sounding like everyone else makes it difficult to get noticed. Regardless of your level of talent, creating a fresh sound is one way to separate your music from everyone else out there. Keep in mind, a fresh sound should also work with your music, not against it. In this exercise, you'll start with a complete amp model. Then you'll use pop-up menus to change the amplifier, cabinet, EQ type, and mic placement. When you're finished, you'll save your custom amp model so that you can use it on future projects or other tracks in this project. Number 1, in the model pop-up, choose amp model to start with. Choose whichever model you like. Just remember, it will look and sound completely different when you're finished customizing it. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that up. And let's choose, I'm just going to go with the first one, small tweed combo. Page 217. Now you're going to totally rebuild it into a custom amp. Number 2, it says choose an amplifier from the amp pop-up. If you like to hear how the various amps sound, start playback and listen to their sounds. It says then choose a cabinet from the cabinet pop-up, and the cabinet will determine the number of type of speakers as well as the size of the amp. So we've got a small tweed amp, so I'm going to go ahead and right now it's got the 1x12 there. I'm going to go ahead and do a brown face 1x12. Number 4, click the mic pop-up menu to show the 7 types of microphones available. So we've got all these. We've got a Neumann U87, AKG 414, Dynamic 20. I'm not sure exactly which one that is. This one will be a SM57, and that's my mic that you guys will be using. We've got a 421. That's another a Neumann mic. Dynamic 609. It's a Sennheiser, I believe, and then a Ribbon 121. That is a Royer 121. I'm going to go ahead and select the Dynamic 57 for right now. Just flipping the page to 218, it says, although there are 7 mic models, there are only 3 primary types, and we'll be learning about mic types as soon as we get done with all these lessons. We got condenser microphones. These have a fine, well-balanced sound and are often used in high-end studio recording. Yeah, those microphones are really expensive if you go to a nice studio, but they also make some very inexpensive and great-sounding entry-level condenser microphones. We've got dynamic microphones. These mics sound brighter and more cutting with boosted mid-range and softer low-mid frequencies. They are popular for rock guitar tones to help the sound stand out when mixed with other tracks. Dynamic microphones are also used for like live vocals. So I picked a dynamic microphone, an SM57, a Shure SM57. That's the workhorse of all microphones, and we'll learn lots about that one. Then we've got ribbon microphones, the Ribbon 121. This is a type of dynamic microphone that delivers a bright yet warm sound. It's popular for rock, crunch, and clean guitar tones. These, the ribbon mics, they are very expensive. They are also very fragile. There is an actual aluminum ribbon inside of them that can break real easily if, for instance, you are using, if you turn on phantom power, they'll break. If you play something too loud into it, it can break. Now these modern, like the new Royer 121s, they have developed them so that they're a lot more durable than the older ones, but they're still very expensive. Great sounding though, especially when miking guitar amps. Number 5 on page 218. It says make a choice from the mic pop-up menu. Move the pointer toward the mic image that's above the mic pop-up area to see the mic placement grid, and then drag the white dot representing the mic in the grid to change the mic placement in front of the speaker. Your amp model is nearly complete. All that's left is to adjust the reverb and EQ settings. Well, one thing I want to do, guys, is I want to listen to this track before I start to move my microphone, and I just want to place it in the perfect place. So let me listen, and I'm going to start moving this around. See, as I get to the outside, it's warmer. As I get to the middle, it starts to get brighter. All right, I'm going to split the difference right there. I'm going to put it between the cone and the outer edge of the speaker. Number 6, it says on the amp knobs area, click the EQ pop-up menu and select an EQ style that fits your customized amp model as well. So let's go here. There's EQ. I'm going to press play and just start going through them. US Classic for me sounds too thin. Modern's alright. Boutique sounds really thin, but it reminds me of the 50s. I like it. I'm going to leave them British Bright. Number 7, choose a type of reverb from the reverb pop-up. Remember that this is the default guitar track that you're trying to modify, so the reverb may be limited. Drag the level knob in the reverb area in the middle of the knobs area on the amp. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and press play, and I'm going to see how much reverb I really want. Obviously that's too much. I like it about right there. You can. It's just subtle. It's in the background, and I like it. So I'm going to leave it right there, about 2. It says when you're finished, stop playback. Moving into 219. Time to save your customized amp model. You can save your amp settings in the Settings pop-up menu in the top left of the Amp Designer interface. It says click the Settings pop-up menu and select Save As. Save As. And then it says do not select Save As Default on your own setting, or your own setting will be the new default setting. We don't want that. Not that it's not good enough, but for now let's just save the setting so you can use it in future projects. So you can save it as whatever you want to. Press save and it's there. So if I ever wanted to recall this, it'll be right there. So I can move this over to any type of different amp. Creamsicle Clean, which is an orange amp. Not that orange is, it's not just about the orange color of the amp, that's the name of the amp. It's an orange amp, it's the company. But I can go back to that one that I created and all my settings are there. Got a small tweed. I've got the small brown face, and everything else is there. Number 10, it says in the save setting as dialog, type your first name and something that describes the amp. You can do that if you want to. In this example, the cabinet 1 used was called Sunshine 1x12, so I couldn't resist including Sunshine in the name. Do not change the location for the save settings. As long as they save into the Amp Designer folder, you will be able to recall them anytime you're using Amp Designer on the current computer. It says to click Save. Flipping the page over to 220, it says the settings pop-up menu at the top of the interface now shows the name of your custom amp model. Number 11, click the settings pop-up menu to see your saved amp model. I already brought you through that. It says you can use this menu to load any of the electric guitar instrument patches from the library. These patches are organized in 3 submenus: clean, crunch, and distorted. Just like the library, select a patch from one of the submenus to load it into Amp Designer. So let's check it out. How about pure amps? I like that. High octane stack, high octane shred. Oh, yeah, that just looks stupid right there. Let's see how it sounds. Page 221, it says the amp model for whichever patch you selected automatically loads in Amp Designer and is ready for playback. We just played it back. That's number 2. Start playback and hear the new patch. Then close Amp Designer, stop playback, and press B to hide the Smart Controls pane. All right. Flipping the page over, the amp model for the patch you selected is loaded in Amp Designer and ready to play. Now that you've experimented with the electric guitar amps, screen controls, and stomp boxes, it's time to get back to the timeline and put the electric guitar effects to work. And we will pick up on the next video.